So, uh, so I just finished the painting yesterday. The worst thing about finishing a painting is giving it away, especially if you really like the painting. You develop this relationship and this friendship with this painting. And man, it's like you go through a mourning period every time you give away a painting. Even when you finish it, as you're finishing it, you go through a mourning period. Like, freak, it's done. It's really cool. It's like this process. If you don't know any painters, I don't know if all painters feel this way, but when you start it, there's a level of skill and almost frustration that comes along with it. And then once you master or make whatever you're painting, make it look like the photograph, if you're a photorealist or a realist, if you make it look like the way it should be made or even better than the way it's made, it's one of the most euphoric, joyful feelings in the world. It's almost this high. And once you hit that high, it's like the greatest feeling in the world. And then usually about a half an hour to an hour later is when you finish the painting. And as you're finishing it, you get really sad. So you get this, and in between these states, you kind of enter this flow state where you don't care about time, you don't care about eating, you don't care about drinking water, you don't care about anything. You're not interested in the world. You're not interested in time. You're not even interested in who you are. You're just interested in this project in front of you. I know a lot of people make fun of me for this, but but most of the paintings I do are to Taylor Swift. I have like this 34. I have this 34 song playlist of Taylor Swift, and sometimes I put on Sia. I put on Sia too. CIA, Sia. I have a playlist of hers as well. It's about 16 songs long, and generally I paint those two. And to get through the 34 songs of Taylor Swift and the 16 songs of Sia, usually in that time, throughout those 50 songs, I could finish a painting. And I paint very well to them because they make you go through all the range of emotions, even upbeat dance type music. So it's beautiful. But during that process, you develop this relationship with the painting, and when you're finishing it within the last 10 minutes and you're done with it, you don't want to be done with it, and you keep painting and adding and painting because you're not ready to let go yet. And I think that a real artist has to know when it's time to just let go, and just, even though they don't want to let go yet, they need to know it's time to let go. And it's very hard to do when you fall in love with a painting. There's this famous painting of this sculptor, and I saw it in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I believe they borrowed it from the Atlanta Museum of Art. And it's this sculptor that has finished this woman that he sculpted. And he's got a chisel and a mallet in his one hand. And the bottom half of the sculpture is still marble, and then the top of the half turns into a real woman, and they're embracing and they're kissing. And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, yeah. Definitely. But anyways, I guess that's it for this video. I just wanted to riff about painting. And essentially, you know, when you're making YouTube videos, you just gotta not care about what you're talking about sometimes. Yeah, so anyways, I hope everybody's having a great day. You know, if you're feeling OCD or upset or suicidal or angry or frustrated about the world, at the world, or at others, I hope you be okay, and I hope everything works. You know, it's like, that's the one thing I talked to my therapist about yesterday is, you know, because I had a telephone call with my trauma therapist, and it's just like every day is like a different day. Like, you go into these different people, like, you know, and she was just like, well, how do you become the different people? I'm like, well, usually it starts because of whatever dreams or bad dreams I had the night before, and that sets the tone for like the first hour of the day. And usually for those bad nightmare nights, I usually have more trauma in the morning and more flashbacks, and the day doesn't go as well, and then it sets up like this chain reaction for the rest of the day, and it makes me into either the more introverted person, the more depressed person, the more homicidal person, the more confident person, the more extroverted person, the 3-year-old, you know, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really understand about us, is the fact that, like, our life isn't really controlled by external factors. A lot of the time it's controlled by internal factors. And I think that's the hard part. You know, you can't really control your sleep. You can't really control what you sleep about. You could try your best to control sleep deprivation, but a lot of the times it doesn't work. Some of the times it does. And then if we have people around us that trigger us, or that come across abusive or frustrate us, and we want to get away from those people, but it's very difficult to get away from those people. You have to throw in those factors. It's difficult, and it's day to day. As the wind shifts, the plants move, the tan brown pot stands on the windowsill. Alright, everybody, have a great day today, and do something that you love, that doesn't cause you to suffer or other people to suffer, and spend time with caring and loving people. But as always, the only time you're going to be able to spend time with caring and loving people is if you work on yourself, work on healing, and then the loving people will come, because you'll have the right energy and the right qi dome I've talked about that way too many times, though. I won't speak of it again. And people of the future, have fun, people of the future. Take care.